ladies and gentlemen. This is a story that came out in the Courier Tribune, dated December 30th, 2017. Some revealing numbers about race in prison. Things are really changing, ladies and gentlemen. You know, sometimes it may not seem like it is, but actually it really is. You may know that the crime rate in the US fell rapidly between 2000 and 2015. That's why you got to stop listening to these trolls that come around talking about black on black crime in Chicago. Those idiots don't realize that for nearly the last 27 years, crimes in the black community has been on a steady decline. It's not increasing, it's decreasing. So they look stupid, but let them keep coming around looking like a bunch of idiots. We don't care. We're not going to pay attention to you anyway. So an extension of a streak that began in the early 90s, and we're talking the crack epidemic. That's when mass incarceration went through the roof. And that's in that same time period of the 90s. You probably didn't know that during that same period, the incarceration rates for Black women and men were also falling, belying the ugly claim that the U.S. needs the highest incarceration rate in the world to keep safe, which is stupid. If you need that in your country, then you don't deserve to have a country. If your answer is, well, we have to incarcerate a lot of people in order to be safe, you need to just stop trying to lead a country. You sound stupid. The Marshall Project found that the Black male incarceration rate fell by a hefty 24% during that period, while the rate for Black women was nearly cut in half. Those are encouraging improvements, the kind of news that doesn't get touted enough. One of the most devastating things the U.S. has done to Black families in modern times was to so rapidly increase the number of Black people being arrested. And it's not always crimes. A lot of innocent Black people are sitting in jail to this day. That's the problem with America. America does not care if innocent people are behind bars, especially if they are people of color. This is why in all of the centuries that we've been here, you don't see no big major public outcry, and you're not going to see it. Just understand you're never going to see that because they seriously don't care. They don't care. And this is why nobody is over all these centuries respect your law. Because of the things you do, it doesn't deserve any respect. What respect does it deserve? Putting innocent people in jail? Planting evidence on people? Who is supposed to respect that? Get out of here. Okay. One of the most devastating things in the U.S. has been done to the Black family. So we know how they rapidly increased the number of Black people being arrested, convicted, and sent to prison as part of the unnecessary war on drugs, and to attack a too high crime rate in the late 1980s and early 90s. And that's, again, during the time period of the crack epidemic. The high Black incarceration made already vulnerable families and communities that much more vulnerable. My family was one of those families. Black people in this country are imprisoned at more than 5 times the rates of whites, which shouldn't be. When you look at the FBI table, there's no way it should be the case. Okay, no way. You know, when you look at that FBI table that just came out for 2016 and you see how high the crime is in the white community, it's no way Black people should be getting arrested 5 times more than white people. No way. But we are not in a just system. We are in this system. Okay. 1 in 10 Black children has a parent behind bars, compared with about 1 in 90 white kids. I'm sorry, 1 in 60 white kids, according to the Stanford Center for Poverty and Inequality. The Marshall Project reported. That means we still have a long way to go to ensure that justice really becomes the focus of the criminal justice system. It won't. It won't. They don't want to fix this system because it works in their favor. So there's no chance of it ever being fixed. It doesn't need to be fixed anyway. It needs to be dismantled, done away with. Too often, it is shaped by fear, revenge, poverty, and race. That must change. Still, the recent improvements seen at the local, state, and federal levels should serve as a reminder to activists that such progress is possible, that there is a reason to keep fighting, even when the gains seem frustratingly. Um, no, I don't agree with that. I mean, yeah, I do think we should fight to especially keep innocent people out of jail, but I don't see gains being anything good. Not in this system. It may be somewhere else, but not here. And to skeptics that the tough on crime policies that led to draconian sentencing guidelines is not only unnecessary, but often counterproductive. Even as we are imprisoning fewer people, the country was growing safer. It should not go unnoticed that the crime rate in New York has reached an all time low after the discriminatory stop and frisk policy was discontinued, precisely the opposite of what many tough on crime proponents said would happen. Right. So they were predicting crime was going to go up in New York. Crime actually plummeted in New York. It's hardly very few homicides going on in the city of New York. So them, they always overinflate everything. So I mean, come on, they will always overinflate every damn thing. Neither did the still unproven Ferguson effect matter there. A city that experienced multiple passionate protests and bitter disagreements between a Democratic mayor and an aggressive police union after high profile controversial police killings. And the police in damn near all of those cases was the aggressor in the whole thing. It's not all good news, though. Researchers still don't fully understand why overall crime or the incarceration rate dropped so much during this period. They almost sound like they're disappointed that everything is dropping. See, they don't want crime to go away. They make too much money on crime. Okay, no matter how much they come and bitch and complain in your face, they don't want crime to go away, ladies and gentlemen. Why it goes up and down is still unpredictable, which might make it harder to replicate that success. Local level nonprofit, even those not directly designed to reduce crime, have played a previously unacknowledged significant role in that improvement, as have new policing policies and philosophies. But we've recently seen an uptick in violent crime, including in large cities such as Charlotte, and don't yet know if it's a blip or the beginning of an upward trend. While the incarceration rate for Black men fell by nearly a quarter, it increased slightly for white men and by an unnerving 53% for white women as the opioid crisis has taken hold. So it has soared among white women. In fact, there's more white women in jail in the US than Black women. That's how bad it is because of the drug plague that's going on. But we said all of these same things during the crack epidemic and got ignored. So maybe they're not ignoring it now. I don't know. The gap between Black men and white men remains large, but the gap between white and Black women has closed to 2-to-1 ratio from 6-to-1. We want racial disparities to be eliminated by reducing the rate for all, not by increasing the rate for some. We still have a lot of work to do. I say get rid of the system. Stop working on a system that does not work. But that's my opinion. Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And don't forget to hit on the notification bell twice. And also check out my channel on Black Junction TV and on blackspot.com. Peace, family.